The forces of the enemy have marched up to the bank of the Bruinen and await the sign to attack. Dark clouds roll in as a great storm approaches. If the ford falls, Rivendell shall not be far behind it. The battle is nearly upon you.
The drums have stopped, Pine Leaf. The assault will come at any moment now. Prepare yourself. Welcome to part 3 of our to our Skirmish timeline series. For our non-epic skirmishes, the Ford of Bruinen. Now, this time, I've changed my ordering just before I started this recording, because originally I was thinking Thievery and Mischief should be 3, and that Prancing Pony should be number 4. Okay, looks like I see... Yeah, alright, so we are going to have the encounter that starts with an orc charging us. So I'll be expecting that when it happens, since I can see him up on the platform right now. And I was thinking originally that this skirmish would be fought when the Company of the Ring is in Moria, which would have placed it after Thievery and Mischief. Since Thievery and Mischief, I am thinking, will take place when the company is either in Eregion or attempting to climb the mountain. And with that all going on, I was thinking, very well, and therefore this one will be when they're in Moria, so therefore will be afterwards. Nice and simple. Unfortunately, there was one thing I did not consider, and that is the ending of this skirmish, where you could see that there's something that happens that Gandalf specifically states that he was responsible for. And while he was speaking of a different case, here's the charging orc. While he was talking about a different incident, the incident with the ring raids instead, I'm thinking that it would be one of Gandalf's tricks that is involved, and one of Gandalf's tricks is involved in the fight. Obviously, Gandalf has to be inside at Rivendell at the time of this battle. Or maybe not necessarily in Rivendell, but he might be near enough at hand rather than out questing with the company. Alright, let's get Sanzers here. So therefore, I changed the ordering here at the last moment. Now, the reason why that's important is because I had already recorded, of course, the Prancing Pony and the Thievery and Mischief episodes. So therefore I'll be mentioning there that they are 3 and 4, despite the fact that that is no longer my opinion on the matter. So you'll see those episodes where what I say is going to be different from what the banner will say on the episode itself. Now, you may be wondering, why am I running this at Tier 1 Solo, which is a setting I have not used for any of the previous skirmishes in this series. And there are 2 good reasons for doing that. Now, while these are related to the 2 reasons, the real 2 reasons are Elladan and Elor here. They are just too wild at times to trust to a tier 2 or to a duo while I'm soloing type skirmish. So therefore I decided that I will just chicken out and run this as a tier 1 solo. Since these guys, when they go after the defilers, things get just a bit rough. And also during the boss fight. The boss fight can get a little bit rough. Especially on those two guys. And when you're trying to convince this troll, you're trying to fight the boss. You have to keep the boss off of the twins. At the same time, you're trying to get a troll to be hit by water. It's a rough fight, especially on the 4 twins. Therefore, I just decided that we will do it the easy way. Figure a rewards bonus isn't worth much if you lose the skirmish. So if your main reason is... Now, of course, if your main reason for bumping it up is a challenge, then that's not going to mean much to you. Then go ahead, bump it up, since I'm sure that the twins will help provide you with one. If your main aim is to complete it, well, you'll learn how far to push it on your own. Since I'm sure everybody has their own limits on each of them where they're willing to go. With the said, are you looking more on a challenge, or are you looking more to complete the skirmish for the rewards, or for the deeds, or whatever? For example, if you're mainly after encounter deeds, you might risk losing the skirmish while going after the encounters, while if your main aim is for the skirmish rewards, then you may give up an encounter. Though of course there are some skirmishes where the encounters are worth too much to be willing to give them up. See, here you go. I knew he was going to charge him. He was just too close to them when they came out. There we go. Now, gotta figure out what the other... Okay, we've eliminated 2 possibilities from the... As you can see, they come in random order. You will get 2 norths and 2 souths. But they'll be selected randomly for the 2 norths and for the 2 souths. Now, part of the reason I am doing this particular series is not only to do the timeline, but there's also the countdown for my... part of the countdown for my 2000 skirmish on this character. Or I should say 2000 skirmish at level or higher. Since there were some times when I was doing data collection, stuff like that, where I would run skirmishes that were below my level. And those do not count because the skirmish statistics you can either turn on or turn off, showing the under-leveled skirmishes. Now, higher level skirmishes, if I ran a skirmish higher than my level, they do count. The sealed silver setting a might. Not particularly useful for a warden, but I suppose any setting is decent fodder for either melding or any of the activities you may do, I guess, or recombination for relic combination, all the things that you can do with relics. Alright, now there still have a couple of possible encounters to get. One of them is the one with the arrows, which will pop up. It's the arrows. I guess it would have been too late for the other possibilities. And oh yeah, we are going to get defilers soon, aren't we? Ah yeah, they just arrived. So let us. Oh, looks like one of the twins saw him. Nice of that defiler not to pay attention, because that means I am able to run and get some more arrows. Now the arrow collection one is one of the ones that does not give you any of those little flags that give you some buffs in there, but since I always forget to use those, I guess it's no major loss. Oh, there's actually even take care of the lieutenant first. Pick up arrows and stuff like that during the non-lieutenant ones, because the twins can handle those easily enough. It's when you have the lieutenants where they have a habit of getting killed. I'm also coming up to my 3,000th encounter. I'm surprised that it's only 3,000 encounters, considering that it's getting close to 2,000 skirmishes. That means I've certainly missed a few. Oh, that's right. Still need an arrow or two. Right? Or did I already? Oh yeah, okay, that's it. There's your arrows. Now it's interesting that, yes, if you do bring a mob close enough to those elves, they will fire directly onto that mob. This usually happens if I'm on this particular quest and I pull someone in right next by to it. I can't remember if I've actually ever had an elf archer defeated. Alright. Thank goodness for first aid. I used to go through a lot of fear pots when facing those things. Alright. I guess that must have been number 4. So this should be 5 then, and that means one more attacker after that. Now, of course, these guys always have a habit of dying before the arrows rain down upon them. Now, I know they don't hurt me, but RP-wise says, nah, don't go running into those. Unfortunately, why someone puts a deadly inferno into the middle of the water, I don't know. Must be have napalm, Greek fire, or some other formula like that. Alright, that's the 4th assault. Now, the idea is to... Alright, now see if I can get this troll. Very rarely do I ever get that troll into the first one. I might throw a little... Problem is, I don't want his attention too much. Simply because if I get too much of his attention, I thought I'd weaken him a little bit. But I don't want his attention so much that I draw him. Because if I draw him, that means the twins follow. If the twins follow... Yeah. Wasn't worth spending an anti-stone, but it's the end of the skirmish, so that'll be fine. Looks like the twins are doing alright enough. But anyway, the touch that Gandalf added is Gandalf in the Fellowship of the Ring says that he's the one who added the horses onto the top of the waves. That Elrond created the waves, but that Gandalf created the horses on top of it. So, since the horses were on top of it, then that must mean that Gandalf was here. And that's the reason why I changed my ordering after thinking before that the Ford of Bruinen would have been after the company left instead of while they were in Rivendell. And that concludes part 3 of our series. Parts 4 and 5 will be Thievery and Mischief and Defense of the Prancing Pony, which I mentioned before. Until next time, this is Pine Leaf Needles. May your shield protect you, and your spear never break.